Hi, welcome back to my channel. I am just feeling myself all up in here. You cannot take this gorgeousness. Cannot take this gorgeousness. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to do a more detailed description of eyeshadow, how to wear eyeshadow, blend eyeshadow, but this time we also tackled the whole eye and we also did colors. So I showed you guys obviously a more colorful version of what I did in my last video. I'm also not on the floor this time, so I'm actually less of a complete mess. Still a little bit of a mess though, wouldn't be a video of mine without it being just a little bit of a mess, you know, just like, not trash, but like recyclables, you know what I'm saying? So we also did liner and some lashes as well, so you guys can see a little quick mini thing on that. I mean, that can obviously be a whole video on its own. That's what I did with my life today. So if you guys want to see how to get this look and a detailed description of how to get these eyes, keep watching. We're just gonna get right into it. I have foundation on already because I'm ugly. And I have my brows done. When I say bad things about myself, I'm always joking. I don't think I'm that ugly. I get some messages on Grindr sometimes. First thing you always want to do is prime your eyes. To do this, you can use an eye primer. This is Smashbox Photofinish Primer. You put it on, there's a little applicator, and it dries down matte. So it won't be sticky, and eyeshadows can just go right on top of it. Most eye primers work like that. You can just apply them to your eye and they will dry it on their own. Let's just go ahead and apply some right now. This tube is pretty empty. But I actually already do have a little bit of concealer on my eye, so it should be fine. You can also use concealer, just regular concealer you use on your face to prime your eyes. However, most concealers, look into the camera, stop looking at the viewfinder, oh my god. I'm just feeling myself the whole video and I'm just like staring off into space. It's too much. It's too much, darling, too much. You have to set a concealer with powder, some sort of powder, either loose powder or an eyeshadow that's like the same color as your skin, to make sure that, because if it stays sticky, eyeshadows will grab to it and they won't blend evenly onto your eye. So you definitely need to make sure you set it if you use a concealer or anything that's tacky. So we're going to do more of a dramatic smoky eye than last time. We're going to use a bunch of colors, and I'm going to show you guys like a 101 step in how to blend with color. What I'm doing right now, I think I mentioned this in my last video, this is the color switch. So it's a wireless sponge. You definitely want to get this if you don't have a lot of brushes, especially, because you just take the brush that's dirty and you go around and it's going to catch all the color. It'll catch here onto the bottom, then your brush will be clean and you can put another color on it. You might still see something on the brush, so this brush is just very heavily stained. I did use a little bit of concealer, so I think I will actually use a light color all over my eye. I'm gonna dip into the Pastel Goth palette. You guys have probably seen this on my channel a good amount. I'm gonna take the shade Skull all over the eyeball. Should I zoom in a little bit more? Maybe? So you guys can really see what's up. I like to make sure I get the inner corner because I will put shadow there. And I got this area with my primer as well, or concealer. And on the brow bone. If you want, you can also put some underneath the eye if you're going to smoke out your shadow. I haven't been doing that lately, but I'll do it today. Why not? I'm so happy I have a viewfinder now because I can see myself and really make better judgment calls as to whether or not I look too busted to continue. When I do colorful eyeshadows, colorful smoky eyes and whatnot, I like to use these like soft pastel-y colors. They're like pigmented enough but not too pigmented as like transition shades, because I feel like you need to put down a transition shade all over your upper crease and lower crease and get it really blended out, because that's just going to help, especially with color, because that's just going to help any shadows you put on top of it blend more easily, blend together. It also helps you sort of like map out the sort of eye shape you want to do without like going in and sort of committing to like too dark of a color and then you put it like too high or like too far out, and then like you have to blend it out and it goes even farther. It's just a good way to like sort of get the scheme of what you want to do going, and also just help other shadows blend. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna take the shade Gloom. You wanna take a brush, something sort of like fluffy like this, and like taper it out. I'm gonna go a little bit closer. And I'm gonna take that shade Gloom. So I get it really coated, go all around, and then tap off the excess. I like to sort of arch my eyebrows upward, because that's gonna, especially if you have a really deep set crease, because that's really gonna make sure you get the shadow everywhere. And we're gonna go in back and forth motions to start out, and then circular motions to blend upward. As you go higher up, you want to sort of like put less pressure on the brush, just like lighten things up. I was watching my last video and I had the autofocus on, and I just found it to go out of focus a lot, and I was just like moving around and flailing everywhere. I think doing that less in general would help with my I think doing that less in general would help with the quality of my videos. But it was really messing with the focus of the camera, and I was going in and out, and I was like editing it, and I was just like, ugh. So I'm trying to make sure I'm more in focus today. Cameras are weird, man. I'm just trying to blend emotions. So yeah, this is the initial color. You want to get it pretty high. Another trick I like to do, I'm going to try to show you guys all the tricks today. I'll actually take some loose powder. I'm sure I did this in some video. I'm not sure if I did it in like the last eyeshadow 101 thing I did, but I'll take it and I'll sort of just push it right here. You can do this at any point, but the earlier the better, because this is gonna like clean up the edge, but it also sort of serves as like a stopping point to like where you want to stop blending. And it really does help. So yeah, like something like that. Also, we do a foundation on, so what are we gonna do? I'm gonna put a little bit of powder under here as well, just to catch any shadow that may fall, because we are using pretty pigmented shadows. But we have a transition shade all over our crease. And, you know, you definitely want to use like sort of either a light green or like a green or whatever color you're using that's not as pigmented, just to really make sure it gets nice and washed out throughout the crease. Here I have Sugarpill Midouri, which is the nice emerald green. I'm going to do the same brush, the same way I did with the last color, and the same motions. I'm going to take sort of like this turquoise. It's called Fringe. At this point, I'd probably switch for a more detailed brush. This is like more of a flat brush. It's more dense. This is the Morphe G14. It's more of like packed together and thinner. It's more like flat. Like it has like a flatness to it. I don't know if that makes sense. So I'm gonna take this, dip into the fringe, and because it's like a flat brush, I'll do like, I mean you can do one side, but I'll do like a little of both. And these shadows are pigmented, but for some reason Fringe, this particular color, is a little less pigmented than the other ones. So I go in with a little bit more. It's definitely not the same intensity, but it's very pretty once you get it to come to the party. And we're putting this on what we call the outer V of the eye. So like right here in the actual crease, and then in like this outer corner area of the eye, like down to the lash line. So it's like a V shape with the brush. You can see right here the V shape I'm making. With this brush, the way to blend, you don't want to do circular motions, you want to sort of like flick it. And then of course you want to raise your eyebrows to make sure you get the color what you want. And when you blend a color, it gets less intense. So a lot of times, especially at this point when you're defining things, you are going to have to go in with a couple layers. So I'm going to go with another layer of fringe, and you can see I'm actually doing more of a packing motion as well, because that's really going to get the color on there. We're getting definition at this point. And this is why I don't like to do foundation before eyes. You see here I have really prominent wrinkles, and even when like I don't do this, it really makes the foundation like crease right there. I've noticed it lately, and it doesn't matter which foundation, like it all does that, and it's really annoying. If you guys have any skincare remedies I could try, I'm trying some things, but I'm always open to more suggestions. Do let me know. Please do let me know. I'm gonna go in with a dark, dark, dark green. My favorite dark green as of late has been from the Jaclyn Hill palette. This green right here. I'm gonna sort of go sort of like the outer V, but a little bit not as far in. Like right there and right there. So like you do see some of that turquoise peeking through. You could use black. A lot of people would use black at this point. When I do colored smoky eyes, I like to like really do like as many complementary colors as I can. So instead of like, since I'm doing green, I'll go with a dark green. If I was going with blue, I do a dark blue, and you know, all that jazz. I take more fringe, and I'm gonna use that. That is gonna help it blend more to like put another lighter color on the brush, but it's also going to make sure the turquoise peeks through. You're sort of like layering it on top as well. You're gonna find times where you have to like blend the crease more, blend the outer corner more. You blend the crease, you lose intensity in the outer corner, and you have to add more color to the outer corner. So we're gonna do that right now. So I'm gonna take more of the second color, Midouri from Sugarpill, and I'm gonna put it like above, just above, like the outer V, going into the true crease. Just because I just want a little more intensity. I'll take some of the green from the Jaclyn Hill palette. I'm going to take fringe. We are dimensional in this bitch. We want dimensional. I'm going to show you how to get a really nice clean lid. So at this point, you could totally put shadow on top, just right here, and be done with it. But if you really want to get it to pop and stand out a little more and look a little more crisp, I'm going to show you something you can do. Take your concealer that you had before, or eye primer. If some eye primers have a tint to them, and you could use them for this step, but primers that just go on translucent and clear, you can't do that. I'm going to go ahead and take some of this concealer. I'd recommend not doing what I just did and take it straight on a brush. And for this step you want to use a brush that is more so flat. Flat and synthetic. Don't worry if you sort of like are off slightly, or like you get some in the crease, you can totally clean it up. Tarte Shape Tape Concealer does dry down, but in the instance where it won't dry down, you definitely want to set it with an eyeshadow. I'm just going to use Skull. I actually want to do some glitter. Not glitter, but a pigment to show you guys a way to apply a pigment. Again, you definitely want to use the flat brush like this that we use to apply the concealer. And this is a special kind of primer. It's called a glitter primer. This is from Nyx. And it's a little sticky and tactile, and you want to leave it that way because it just helps things stick to it. If you have hooded eyes, and you have issues with like even just like shimmery shadows getting into your crease throughout the day, pick this up and use it underneath any shadow. It doesn't replace a regular primer though. You have to use like a regular primer for like matte or eyeshadows are going to blend all over your eye, and this unfortunately, but that's just sometimes what you have to do to be this beautiful. You want to do one eye at a time, which again is not what I just did at all, because I'm not thinking. I just thought of doing this at the last minute, so it's not like a cut crease. That is what you would do with the concealer to get a cut crease as well, but it just makes applying the lid shadow a bit more clean. You can see it's fairly even because we put that powder down. Obviously all this powder is going to get wiped away when we're done. And you see down here, I always have makeup on from the night before. I just, for some reason, even when I'm on camera, that's not motivation enough. I cannot just not have smudged makeup from the night before on my under eye. This is like a pencil brush. This is perfect for the inner corner, and you can make it work for the highlighting portion. Good highlighter brush for the brow bone would be like this, except more synthetic hair. Like more with hair like this, as opposed to like stiffer hairs like this. And that would be a good brush for the brow bone. I'm gonna dip into the Subculture palette. I haven't used that in a while. The most controversial palette in all of YouTube. I don't know if you've used it on my channel yet, but I'm just gonna take, this is like a duochrome sort of situation, the shade Electric. And I have a pretty prominent inner corner, so that's why I definitely put primer or foundation there, because it's gonna be noticeable otherwise. And the brow bone is a very important place. It will highlight, but it'll also help clean up the eyeshadow. Just go like very lightly right against there and you'll clean up the eyeshadow. Okay, I think now it's time for everyone's favorite eyeliner. Oh boy. A little bit on eyeliner. I think if you're a beginner, I would very strongly recommend using a gel liner, such as this one by Morphe. I really do like. And then with that, you'll want to get a dense angled brush. This one's packed with color, but something shaped like this. That's gonna really help you get more precision than using like just like a regular liquid liner. These go on pretty much just as black as any other liquid liner would. I know one from Maybelline as well is really good. And then also you can double use it as like a black eyeshadow base when you do black eyeshadow. You could even use it on your lips if you want black lipstick. Just like, it's just a black cream that's versatile and it makes doing liner easier. However, this is dried out, so I will not be using this today. Say you have no access to gel liner for whatever reason, I think a felt tip is your next bet. And this one is from Essence. This is the Essence eyeliner pen. That's it. And it's like $3 and it's great. I really love the ones from Ico right now that Ipsy has sent me. But if you're just starting out, I assume you don't want to spend $18 to $20 on an eyeliner. So you can get this one, you can get these at Ulta, and I think Target has Essence as well. I've seen it there. Take the liner pen. I'm going to show you how to do just simply across the eye first. Hold it to the side like this and just go across. Typically want it thinner here and thicker here, just like that. And you want to make sure you get it as close to the lash line as possible as well, to avoid any like spaces or gaps and whatnot. Take some more fringe. Just blend it through. I meant to do this and forgot. And then it's nice, sort of like the liner diffuses. And so what I'll do is go out like that. Sort of aim for my brow bone. And then take it back in. So just basically draw the outline first and then just fill it right in. And then just sort of clean up. I'm going to turn off the camera, do the other eye, and come back. So I did both wings. Lashes, same thing. I'm just going to show you one eye and be done with it. So first thing I'll do, I'll take mascara. This is the L'Oreal Luminous Lash Paradise. Pretty much the only mascara I use at this point. I'll put mascara on first. Even when you do false lashes, you still want to put on mascara for two reasons. One, it's going to blend your natural lashes into the real lashes. Also, it's going to help them stick together, which is why we're going to apply it just before we put on the lash. So it's still sort of somewhat tactile. And for mascara, start at the base, wiggle up. Make sure it's a good mascara. This is literally a dupe for the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. I mean, I'll leave a picture on the side of the screen. It's even like the same packaging. Like, I think this is meant to be a dupe. The wand is the same. I've loved Too Faced mascara. I've used it for months and months and months. It's out. I ran out of it now, but I don't really notice a difference, honestly. So definitely just go the cheaper route and get this one. Well, unless you're cruelty free. In which case, just get like a travel size Too Faced. It doesn't have to be a great application because we're putting lashes over it, just you want to get something on there. These are 605 lashes by Christina Lashes. So you want to have some tweezers, you want to have some glue, got your tweezers, got your glue. I personally prefer glues that are in tubes as opposed to like the squeeze bottle ones. I feel like with the squeeze bottle, it gets everywhere, you get a huge amount, like just a huge dollop. It gets all over the lash, gets all over everything. I just so much prefer this applicator. Like once I started using this kind, I'll never go back. This is not duo lash glue, believe it or not. I do usually use duo lash glue, but lately I've been using the Kiss Strip Lash Adhesive because the store didn't have, they had squeeze duo lash glue, but they didn't have the applicator one, the green one that I like. So I've been using this and I'm not mad at it. It's been working. I'm just gonna paint a thin layer. I don't know how well you're gonna be able to see. But I just want to do a thin layer all across, make sure it doesn't run down the edges, and then you'll want to leave it for like 20 to 30 seconds, which, that's this side. Just get it a bit tacky. I've never done lashes on camera before. I'm praying for the absolute best. But I just sort of make sure I get the back secured because the front I can easily work on with tweezers. I feel like winged liner and lashes are the things where like took me a long time to get, and even now I still have trouble sometimes. You can see however, the humongous difference that lashes versus non-lashes do. So I'll take a pencil. I'll use usually a complimentary color. This is an Urban Decay 24/7 pencil. And I'll just put it on the waterline and close my eye. So I'm just going to show you on one eye. I want to get this done. I'll take that same pencil brush that I had before. I'm going to take some fringe, get it coated on the brush, and just like run it. Typically want to use the same colors that you use on the top eye. Of course, you could do whatever you want with your makeup and switch it up and put a different color, but in like a classic, if anything we do is classic here on the social meteors, classic Instagram look, you coordinate the colors that you have on top. So I'll just put that, and then I'll put like a deeper one. I'll do some the green from the Morphe palette, and I'll just put this like sort of like on the tip, like the tip, and just like on the outer corner, like that. So you can barely even see it. Barely did anything actually. I'll just sort of clean up my brush and blend things out. Nothing on the brush at this point. I'm just simply blending. That's pretty much all she wrote. I'm gonna do the rest of my makeup and come back. So yeah, I feel pretty. Like, this is just a pretty look. You know, you put on makeup and you're just like, I feel pretty. I'm pretty. I am not repulsive whatsoever. It's just one of those days for me. I'm feeling myself. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you like what you see. Share it to the world. Share it to the children. And I'll see you next week or maybe later this week. I'm trying to film twice a week now to really get myself out there. So pray for me on that. But yeah, love you guys. Bye.